All right, welcome to the Ali and Smoke Show. This is Neko Smoke,
It's your boy Keys Ali.
and this is another episode of Blowing Smoke.
Yeah, Nico's pissed off yet again, my friends.
Hey man, I get pissed off a lot, and I need to, so I channel it to this. I don't go beat up people no more.
No more.
Yeah.
What you pissed off about tonight, man? What you pissed off about tonight?
Man, I just so happen to be scrolling on the internet, and
That's typically how it starts.
Yeah, that's how it is. So I was scrolling on the internet, and I seen something that I thought was cool. But then when you really start diving into it, it is not so cool. So if you would, sir, roll the clip.
Dr. Tiffany Richardson, the district's on-staff lawyer, was fired first. Then Superintendent Dion Jackson was fired. The board also hired their replacements at the same time, even though Barrow said he, as a board member, was unaware of that prior to the meeting.
When they terminated Dr. Richardson and Mr. Jackson's contract, or terminated their employment, in the same motion with Dr. Richardson, they fired her and they hired Brandon Gaskins. Now, how can that be when you hire somebody before somebody is terminated?
The board also announced Anthony Dixon was hired.
Kill the clip, bro.
All right, man.
Bro. So, to give you a good premise about what happened is, one, this is why I said it was cool. That boardroom, those microphones they talking in, that the projectors that you see in there, the screen that you see in there, your boy put it up. That's cool. We did that whole boardroom. My company did. But what's not so cool is the fact that they had a board meeting, and I believe it's the first board meeting of the year, first board meeting after the election, and they fired the superintendent of the board and the lawyer for the board and hired two more people in their place in that same meeting. That is illegal. Very illegal. And then when you look more into it, there's a group called Moms for, I want to believe it says Moms for like Equality or something like that. And I believe I'm saying that wrong, but it was a Moms for whatever it was. But anyway, they pretty much are backed by a billionaire, and they wanted things voted on like CRT not to be taught in schools, which has never been taught in schools at all, and all this other far right extremist agenda that is just made up by these people as talking points so they can get more votes. And there was 3 people against them being fired, and the other 6 was for it. And like I forget what my man's name was, but he was like, he wanted to know, was there some type of meeting? And it had to be some type of meeting to happen, because you don't fire somebody. So fast. And in the state of South Carolina, if you fire a public figure like that, it has to go out. Like, it has to go out in the public for hiring. Like, it has to. There was nothing like that whatsoever. It was just this group of people wanted this agenda spread into this county school district, which is Berkeley County in Charleston, and they got it done. Backdoored it and got it done. Okay. Now, here's the kicker. Here's what they want you to feel like. Oh, but the people that we hired are black too. So they are literally blatantly showing you in your face just the straight up trick. Like, all right, we're gonna fire these niggas, but we're gonna hire 2 more niggas. So you can't say this was racist or whatever somebody wants to say. They are blatantly in your face robbing children of their future by trying to indoctrinate them on made up BS because they want control of stuff. And I just don't understand it.
Now you sent me this TikTok, I think a couple of nights ago, and I didn't really click to what's going on. Now you're telling me what's going on. You said this is also illegal.
Very much illegal. You
So
can't
who?
you can't
What?
fire somebody. You can't fire somebody, and you can't fire a public figure like a board member. You can't fire a board member and hire a new board member in the same meeting.
So how did it go
Like
down if it's illegal then? And who does the checks and balances in this type of thing?
have no clue, brother. That's why it's such a big controversy, because it's like, how the hell is this happening? When did this meeting take place? All of the board members didn't even know what was happening. Like half of the board members, 4 of them didn't know what's happening, one of which got fired. 6 of them didn't know what was happening. So that goes to show you there was a backdoor meeting. Then come to find out they're backed by this billionaire group. So it's like,
Did somebody get paid off?
what's happening here? It's so many questions that is not answered that may not ever get answered. But it's
Nah,
all happening.
it can't just fly though.
But it's all happening right in front of the eyes of parents, and fellow teachers in Berkeley County. It was a public meeting, and it happened in the public, and they pretty much daring you. To do something about it.
That's crazy. And we ain't seen no kind of update, nothing coming from it. It's just that happened and everything just keep rolling.
I haven't seen any update from it. But I guarantee you we will see an update.
How far away is that from where we're at right
now? Like 3 hours.
I think we should take a camera down there and ask us some questions.
We can. Hey, man.
I don't understand. Like I get what you're saying. Like I get what you're telling me, but I don't understand like how it's happening. And it's not like major news, for lack of words.
Me neither. That's why I wanted to bring this up. That's why we needed to bring attention to it. We need to come down. Is somebody or multiple people have to come up with some type of update, because this can't fly. It cannot continue to fly to where misinformation is spread amongst children who are very impressionable right now. And that's all that's going to happen. You don't want quote unquote CRT to be in schools, but they've never been in schools.
For the listeners in the view that don't know what CRT is, can you break it down real quick for them?
CRT is critical race theory. So critical race theory is, for a lack of better words, people wanting like the true history of Black people being taught in schools, like from a true historical standpoint. Like, or speaking of Thanksgiving, we got Thanksgiving right around the corner. Instead of just going, Christopher Columbus came over and did all this stuff for Americans, and then you got the Pilgrims and Native Americans and all this stuff, and they just had a feast. They want you to say, well, the feast was a break from them raping and pillaging Native Americans.
So you saying race theory will put that type of information into the schools?
Yes.
Okay, got you.
They want that type of stuff. They want like true Black history. If you're gonna tell the truth about slavery, let's tell the truth about slavery. If we want to tell the truth about civil rights, let's tell the truth about civil rights. Let's stop beating around the bush about it. Let's stop, because the reason why they don't want CRT taught in schools is because it will make white people look bad.
But I'm not in school anymore. But when we was in school, we didn't learn the little small stories in between. We learned the big moments and moved on.
And that's the thing. So like with CRT, it would teach that, but the right does not want that type of speech in schools. They don't. They want to be able to teach you about God, and they want to be able to teach you American history, the good, never the bad.
Gotcha.
Because if you remember in school, We talked about civil rights, but it was Martin Luther King's speech. We learned a little bit about Malcolm, and then Marcus Garvey.
A
You know what
little
I mean?
bit.
Like, and then you know what I mean. Little people here and there, but Martin Luther King was the end all be all. But they don't really explain to you why there was 1 million people marching on DC, why that speech was so impactful. They just tell you it's impactful. You know what I mean? Like
Gotcha,
that's all
gotcha.
they tell you.
And the
So
CRT will
it's
basically break down why it was impactful.
let's break it down.
And they don't want that in schools because it'll make white folks look bad.
Well, yeah, that and the fact that now all those pictures that we seen growing up um of black people sitting at all white restaurants and them getting sprayed with hoses and people
Yeah.
yelling at them, they now grandmas now to the people that's growing up that our age. So now they more recognizable. Hell, just today, they found a picture of Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys,
Yeah.
at a college yelling at, well, he was in the crowd of people yelling at and trying to stop black people from going into a college in
Holy shit.
Texas. And he admitted that it was him in the photo. But did he apologize? Absolutely not.
That's crazy.
So it's like that's the type of stuff that's happening now, but they don't want you to really teach that because if they teach you that, then they're gonna have to see their family members in all of those photos, and they're gonna have to be accountable for the shit that they did, even
Or they
though like
actually, yeah.
it's not you that did it, but your family member done it, and you're gonna have to answer for something that you didn't do. Well, sorry, we answer for shit that we don't do all the time.
All the time, yeah. And the truth
All
need
the
to be
time.
put out there. The truth definitely needs to be put out there.
Exactly.
I think it's gonna be our first episode that takes a part two because I gotta know what happens from this, man. I can see why you're
Had
so
to.
fucking frustrated
Oh,
about it.
we definitely gonna circle back. Not only because it's cool as hell that I did all of that, you know what I mean? Did all that work in there, bro. I'm happy about that part. But the truth of the matter of all that stuff, man, in all seriousness, it's it's just sad that stuff like that is happening around a bunch of places in the country. I mean, I could have played another video out in Kentucky where they had a meeting just like this, and there was a lady recording, and she was just like, "This is all." I mean, he had a PowerPoint presentation on CRT, and it was all misinformation and bullshit. And there was a lady on the side of the wall that was telling her, "Hey, you need to lower your voice and be quiet, and don't be disrespectful to the presenter." And she was like, "Is he not being disrespectful for spreading misinformation to these people?" Like none of this is real. None of this stuff that he's saying is real. It's all a scare tactic. But yet they're gonna allow this scare tactic to dictate what they teach children. And
That's
it's
that's
it's it's just sad and it's frustrating.
yeah, I can see why you wanted to blow smoke about that, man. Give us your final words on CRT. Give us a final words on what you think should happen. And of course, we're gonna follow back up with this.
Unfortunately, it will still always be down to us to teach our children. No matter what. We cannot rely on the school system. We can't rely on nobody. We got to teach our kids what is right, teach our kids to embrace the truth and know that the truth need to always be told, and the truth will go further. I seen Taz share a quote earlier. A lie, a lie is like a sprint, but the truth will run like a marathon.
That's
And
deep.
that is a fact.
That's a fact. Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'm Ali.
I'm Smoke.
And this has been the Ali and Smoke Show, Blowing Smoke, episode 2. Thank you guys for listening.